Welcome back to Chapter 3 of our series on emotional intelligence at work. In this episode titled Emotional Regulation, Stay Calm When It Matters Most, we're going to explore practical techniques to help you manage your emotions, especially in high-pressure situations. So, whether you're facing a tough deadline or a challenging conversation, you'll be equipped to stay cool and collected. Let's dive in. In a crisis, your brain can make you dumber exactly when you need to be sharpest. A tense email, a public mistake, a blindsiding question in a meeting. Your IQ hasn't changed, but your access to it has. Why do some people stay clear while others emotionally spin out? A heated meeting, a missed deadline, a blunt comment from your boss. These moments don't just trigger feelings, they kick off a measurable chain reaction in your body. Hormones spike, breathing shifts, muscles tighten. Left on autopilot, that chain reaction quietly hijacks how you prioritize, listen, and decide. Emotional regulation is not about becoming unbothered or pretending you're fine. It's about learning to notice this internal shift early enough to influence it. Modern neuroscience shows that when you can accurately name what you're feeling, frustrated, cornered, ashamed, you give your brain a foothold to recalibrate. In high-pressure workplaces, this isn't a nice-to-have soft skill, it's a performance edge. The leaders who consistently make sound calls under stress aren't devoid of emotion. They've just trained their attention to catch the surge before it steers the wheel for them. In most offices, emotional regulation is treated like personality. Either you're good under pressure or you're not. But the data says it behaves more like a trainable skill than a fixed trait. On brain scans, people who routinely practice simple regulation strategies show different activation patterns before they even face a stressful task. That means your default setting can actually shift. And the impact isn't limited to blow-up moments. It shows up in how you write a terse Slack reply, how long you ruminate after tough feedback, and whether your team feels safe bringing you bad news. High-pressure work rarely looks like movie-style emergencies. It's quieter. The third calendar change on a delivery date, a stakeholder contradicting you in front of a VP, your team going silent after you ask a simple question. In those moments, the practical question isn't, how do I stop feeling? But, what can I do in the next 90 seconds that keeps me useful instead of reactive? Research points to 3 especially powerful levers: how you breathe, how you frame, and how you signal safety to others. First, breathing. Not as a wellness slogan, but as a technical adjustment. Slow diaphragmatic breaths shift your physiology fast enough to matter in real meetings. 4 deliberate cycles can be done while someone else is talking, on mute in a tense call, or in the hallway before delivering bad news. You're not calming yourself to be zen. You're buying back cognitive bandwidth so your judgment isn't running on fumes. Second, reappraisal, changing the meaning you attach to what's happening. Your brain reacts very differently to, this client is attacking me, than to, this client is scared of looking bad to their boss. The facts might be the same, the story you choose changes your options. In practice, effective reappraisal sounds like, this is a stress test of the idea, not a verdict on my competence. Or, their urgency is about the launch, not about me personally. The goal isn't forced positivity, it's moving from threat to challenge so you can think in terms of solutions. Third, outward regulation. How you manage your own state shapes the entire room's behavior. A manager who can stay grounded when plans fall apart makes it easier for others to admit risks early, own mistakes, and bring you bad news when there is still time to act. This is where tone of voice, pacing, and word choice become regulation tools, not just communication style. A steady, specific response. Let's list what's still in our control for the next 48 hours. Reduces ambient anxiety more than any generic reassurance. Over time, these micro-choices start to change your automatic settings. You're not aiming to be unshakable. You're aiming to be influenceable by the situation without being controlled by it. A product manager at a fast-growing startup notices her jaw clench every time a particular executive joins the call. Instead of pushing the feeling away, she quietly asks herself, what's the actual signal here? She realizes it spikes most when timelines get questioned, not when ideas do. That clue lets her prepare clearer milestones, and the next review is tense but productive. She stays engaged instead of defensive, and the exec becomes an ally. Think of a storm front rolling in. You can't stop the weather, but you can read the sky early enough to close windows, move laptops, and keep the project from getting soaked. That's what small, timely adjustments do for your emotional state. At a global bank, one VP started pausing before responding to urgent emails after 6 p.m. She'd type a draft, take 3 slow breaths, and ask, "Will this still matter in 72 hours?" Half the time, she parked the reply for morning. Within a quarter, her team reported fewer late-night spirals and clearer priorities, even though the workload hadn't changed. As teams normalize these tools, staying calm stops being a personal virtue and becomes shared infrastructure. Meetings feel less like emotional roulette and more like structured labs where hard problems get tested without people burning out. Leaders start treating their own reactions like product data, signals to iterate on culture, not private flaws. Over time, the org behaves more like a well-run clinic, diagnosing stressors early, intervening lightly, and preventing crises instead of heroically surviving them. Staying calm when it matters most is less about perfection and more about pattern recognition. Over weeks, you'll start to notice which meetings, people, or topics reliably tilt you off center. That map is gold. It tells you where to add buffers, like prep time, clearer agendas, or ally check-ins, so future flare-ups become nudges, not derailments. Try this experiment. For the next 3 stressful moments today, like a tough email, a tense meeting, or a kid meltdown, pause and silently say, "Name it. I feel." Pick one word: anxious, angry, embarrassed, overwhelmed. Then do one 10-second physiological sigh, big inhale, quick top-up inhale, long, slow exhale through your mouth, while keeping your face neutral and shoulders loose. Immediately rate your stress from 1 to 10 before and after the sigh, and jot just those 2 numbers in your phone. At the end of the day, look at the numbers and notice in which situations this combo of name it plus sigh made the biggest difference. Those are the triggers where this tool works best for you. This was Owl Up, your daily step forward. This series continues with more chapters on owlup.co. Visit owlup.co to access the complete course and continue your learning journey. See you there!